Hey there, fellow adventurers of Elden Ring. It's been about a week since Tim Diggity released an amazing video discussing his theory about the deep connection between two important characters in FromSoft's masterpiece, Melina and Miquella. Before we get into the details and my own thoughts on it, I suggest watching Tim's video for some mind-blowing insights. I'll share the link below. But you know what? I couldn't resist exploring the lore myself, not only to understand better, but also to make sure I haven't missed any key points. So let's journey together and uncover the hidden secrets within the vast world of Elden Ring.
I presume you, too, are keen to know.
Alright, let's talk about Miquella. Miquella is no ordinary individual. He's a child born of the divine union between God Queen Marika and her enigmatic alter ego, or consort, Radagon. As an Empyrean, Miquella possesses immense potential. He's on the brink of ascending to godhood, wielding the power to shape a new order for the world.
The true nature of Miquella's plans remains shrouded in mystery. But one thing is clear. Despite being a prime candidate for ascension, his path diverged from the traditional route to godhood under the greater will. While Miquella initially displayed a strong affinity for the Golden Order, it seems he harbored reservations about ascending to godhood as dictated by the greater will. This reluctance is evidenced by his departure from the lands between, first seeking refuge at the Hallow Tree, and now, in the upcoming DLC, venturing into the shadowy realm of the Lands of Shadow. Elden Ring's premise revolves around the notion that none of Marika's children are favored by grace anymore. A pivotal aspect that casts a shadow of uncertainty over Miquella's intentions and the unfolding events within the game's vast and enigmatic world.
Now let's turn our attention to Melina and the intriguing possibility of her connection to the young Empyrean.
I offer you an accord.
Early in the game, Melina approaches the player, extending an offer to accompany them on their journey. In exchange for guiding her to the ordinary, Melina assumes the role of a finger maiden, a significant detail. You see, finger maidens are typically associated with the two fingers, and by extension, the greater will. Their primary duty is to bolster the strength of the Tarnished, facilitating their progression by transforming rune fragments into power, a fundamental aspect of leveling up within the game. Melina's reverence for Marika is unmistakable, evident in the solemn and respectful tone she adopts when sharing the Queen's wisdom with the player on numerous occasions. There's a certain calm dignity in her demeanor, underscoring her deep respect for Marika's teachings.
Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Melina's ethereal existence, devoid of a physical form, which she attributes to a past consumed by flames. A curious parallel to Messmer's enigmatic nature. But perhaps the most intriguing link between Melina and Miquella lies in Torrent.
Let's delve into the intriguing possibility that Miquella could actually be Melina. It's fascinating how these theories might just turn out to be true. On a different note, there's another theory suggesting that Messmer is Miquella. We'll explore that further in due time. As you approach the frenzied flame, Melina gives a serious warning, advising caution and second thoughts. We all know the risks of following that fiery path. But what happens if you decide to face the frenzied flame?
The only chance for salvation is with a unique item called Miquella's Needle, a solution against the interference of the outer gods. It's clear that both Miquella and Melina are determined to fend off these cosmic invaders, especially the frenzied flame. But why? It's a mystery that needs answers, ones that I hope the DLC will reveal. Maybe shedding light on the revelation that they are actually one and the same.
And let's not forget an interesting tidbit from cut content. St. Trina's Crystal Ball, an item meant to calm those affected by the frenzied flame, using sleep as its cure. Intriguing, isn't it? Here's where things start to get really interesting. If that's Miquella's body in one world, how is he able to exist in the Land of Shadow? Elden Ring's demigods seem to have a talent for creating duplicates of themselves. However, my theory is that the Land of Shadow serves as a type of spiritual realm. Bandai Namco's announcement indicates that Miquella made his way into the Land of Shadows by leaving his physical form behind.
It all seems oddly familiar, doesn't it? Early on, Melina hints at being burned and bodiless, appearing like a ghostly figure with burns on her hands. However, the details of how this happened are still a mystery. Similarly, how Miquella got rid of his flesh remains a puzzle to be unraveled, possibly in the upcoming DLC.
Here's another perspective. What if Miquella, in a desperate move, set himself on fire, allowing his spirit to travel to the Land of Shadow? And could Melina be the charred, formless figure he takes on to move around the lands between in disguise? It's a theory that raises more questions than answers, but that's the allure of Elden Ring's lore. Let's shift our focus to the DLC trailer's ending featuring Miquella. Although it is illuminated by divine light, if you examine it closely, doesn't it bear a remarkable similarity to fire? There seems to be a connection between Miquella and St. Trina, with many believing they are the same person. However, the only clear image we have of St. Trina's face is on an item called St. Trina's Torch. In my opinion, the pieces of this puzzle really start to come together when we closely examine Melina and St. Trina. Have you ever noticed how St. Trina bears a striking resemblance to Melina? From the hair to the hood, and even a small mark on her face that reminds us of Melina's own mark. And let's not forget about that peculiar eye on St. Trina's head, which could be a reference to Melina's purple eye in the frenzied flame ending. It's not just a coincidence that both sleep-related items in St. Trina are associated with the same shade of purple, suggesting a deeper connection. Melina is actually St. Trina, the feminine persona of Miquella. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Why the obsession with sleep? Well, think about it. The pivotal moment when Melina touches the player's hand before sacrificing herself in the Forge of the Giants. Suddenly the player falls into a mysterious slumber, only to wake up in the ruins of Farum Azula. It's a strange occurrence, and Melina seems to be the only character capable of causing it. Melina has an enchanting story to tell. She reveals captivating details about her origins. She was born right at the base of the Erd Tree, and within its sacred boundaries. Melina shares that her mother bestowed upon her a special purpose. Interestingly, there are those, myself included, who ponder if this connection goes even further, hinting that she could possibly be an Empyrean, a celestial being born from the union of Marika and Radagon, similar to Melina and Miquella. Could it be possible that Melina, if she is indeed an imperial child of Marika, is intentionally left out of the majority of the game's lore? And why does Gideon, who seems to know everything about the other major demigods, appear to have no knowledge of her existence? Well, there might be a clue in something Gideon himself suggests. Melina could actually be an alter ego of Miquella. This theory adds an intriguing twist to the intricate story of Elden Ring. The butterfly theory is truly fascinating. In the game, there are 3 types of butterflies, each possibly representing a child of Radagon and Marika. The nascent butterfly is linked to Miquella, Aeonian to Melina, and Smoldering to Melina. However, with the emergence of Mesmer in the DLC trailer, speculation is high that he might actually be the smoldering butterfly. So where does that leave Melina's representation? I suggest she's embodied by the nascent butterfly, symbolizing her connection to Miquella. But wait, there's more. In the DLC trailer, there's a glimpse of pink butterflies, hinting at a deeper layer yet to be unveiled. But hold on. There's more to the story of slumber in Elden Ring. Let's go back to the moment we first obtained Torrent and return to the church where the game began. There, we come across the sleeping merchant Kale, surrounded by a mysterious mist. Suddenly, Ranni appears and gives us the lone wolf, Ashes, and the spirit calling bell, which were gifts from Torrent's enigmatic former master. Now, who could that master be? Many believe it's Miquella, considering Kale's slumber and Miquella's connection to Saint Trina. And guess what? The DLC's promotional image confirms that Miquella was indeed Torrent's master at some point. But here's where it gets interesting. If Miquella is Torrent's former master, why does Melina have him at the beginning of the game? Remember that vivid scene where Melina rides Torrent and then gives him to us? It's quite obvious that Melina is Torrent's former master. Some may argue that they could both be Torrent's masters without being the same person, but let me be a bit nitpicky for a moment. Ranni only appears after Melina hands over Torrent? Coincidence? I highly doubt it. Hence, Ranni's conversation about Torrent's previous master can only be unlocked if Melina is no longer Torrent's master in your game. There must be a reason for this. If Ranni was only talking about Miquella, and Miquella was not Melina, this conversation would not be restricted to Melina giving up Torrent. She mentions both Miquella and Melina because they are the same person. It has been confirmed that we will access the DLC through the cocoon in Mog's boss arena. Upon entering Mog's boss arena, Mog raises the hand and refers to it as Dearest Miquella. In the DLC trailer, we hear a voice saying,
Come now, touch the withered arm, and travel to the realm of shadow.
It appears that we will access the DLC by touching Miquella's hand, which protrudes from the cocoon. Now, where else in Elden Ring have we seen this? When we first enter the Round Table Hold, we do so by touching Melina's hand.
the Round Table Hold clearly exists separately from the lands in between, in some way, as it can only be accessed through teleportation. I believe this is because it exists in the land of shadow, or is somehow veiled in the same manner.
This got me pondering. What if Melina, also known as Miquella, has a special gift to move through these veils, maybe even taking others with her, just by a simple touch?
Alright, let's address a few more lingering thoughts that don't neatly fit into specific sections. Firstly, the ongoing debate about whether Melina is the gloam-eyed queen continues with compelling evidence on both sides. However, I believe this doesn't necessarily contradict the theory that she is also Saint Trina and Miquella. It may complicate things a bit, but who's to say it's impossible? Personally, I see more connections between Melina and Miquella than with the gloam-eyed queen. Now, let's talk about that mysterious arm emerging from the cocoon in the DLC trailer. There has been much speculation. Some argue that it's Miquella's arm, but perhaps Mog's mention of Dearest Miquella is more figurative, not necessarily tied to the specific individual inside the cocoon. After all, Miquella is known as Eternal Child, and this corpse is quite the opposite. Could the character in the DLC trailer actually be Miquella, with the corpse serving as a misdirection? It's a twist that would challenge my theory of Melina and Miquella guiding souls to the land of shadow with their hands, but it's worth considering. Now let's circle back to Melina's potential identity as Miquella. Remember how Miquella created the Halig tree? Well, there's a hint that he might have crafted other minor trees too. When Melina is summoned for the fight against Morgott, she displays a unique spell, a healing spectral tree creation animation, not seen elsewhere in the game.
Also, whenever Melina perishes in battle, or if the player manages to defeat her, a ghostly tree materializes at the exact spot where she met her demise. This occurrence might imply a deeper bond between Melina and Miquella. Is it possible that when Miquella shed his physical form, the Erd tree, or maybe another significant tree, sprouted as a consequence? The recurring imagery of this tree could indicate that Melina and Miquella are same person.
It appears that she has connections to the Black Knife Assassins. She wields the Blade of Calling, which mirrors the distinctive combat style of the Black Knife Assassins. Additionally, she hints at an inevitable demise in the chaotic flame conclusion. Perhaps Miquella/Melina played a role in the Night of the Black Knives, leading to feelings of remorse over Godwyn's tragic death. Alternatively, it could be a situation similar to Marika and Radagon, with conflicting intentions between the two halves. This raises the possibility that one part of her was involved in the Night of the Black Knives, while the other is now attempting to make amends. Just a theory to ponder. Well, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons for more content like this. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these theories. Drop a comment below and let me know if you are excited for the upcoming DLC. Thanks for watching, and until next time, goodbye.